Today's episode is sponsored by Mil Usos Skincare and Limitless Tape. How's your doctor training going?
My doctor training?
Yes.
It's going.
Is it?
You know, yeah, I take my opportunities as they come up, but it's going, I think, pretty well.
Excellent. Any promotions in that?
I'm kind of old school. I don't like ask about my promotions, but
Okay, yes.
I did drain somebody's ear I don't know, 2 weeks ago in front of my doctor sensei.
You did?
So, yeah, I do. Anytime something comes up, I kind of relish the opportunity to, be a doctor.
Absolutely.
And it was good. Like he gave me some feedback for what I could have done better, but I drained the patient's ear, so it was all in all pretty successful.
Wonderful. Was this your first ear drain or the first one in front of
No.
I was gonna say there's no way it's the first time.
No. I've drained many ears, but it was the first time in front of him. So if anything, I was like a little bit nervous, like I wanted to do well.
Yeah, like it is your skill what you thought it was beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, I think I impressed him. I think I generally try to do a good job. And from what I understand, like he teaches a lot of residents and they're oftentimes a little nervous, and I go in there confidently.
What kind of doctor are you wanting to be? Is it just general medicine? Or do you have a specific?
I don't know. I think I kind of want to follow in the footsteps of my sensei who does like critical care and emergency medicine. I think that stuff is kind of interesting.
Yes.
I think it's like it seems very fast to me and very on the spot, which I think is kind of appealing. I also think, like sports medicine is really interesting, but I also see that that's like a much slower process,
Yeah.
Like if somebody injures something and then they have to get, like the whole process that most jiu-jitsu people have gone through of like getting an MRI and seeing how bad it is. And then do I need to get surgery? And then if you do, like what's the best doctor and the recovery process, so the whole thing could
You're looking at years.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the injury, but that could be like a long process versus like someone comes in with a gunshot wound and it's like, save them now.
Yes. Okay. So that's more your trajectory. You would like to be the hero. Put a pin in that though, because we're going to bring this back around when you talk about your daughter. So everybody who doesn't know who we're talking to today, we have a competitor, a dad. He's building his own academy with Black Cat Jiu Jitsu, and he's just released a brand new instructional. Adam Benayoun, welcome to Chokeholds and Chill.
Thank you so much. That was so professional.
Well, don't expect much. I'm definitely not a professional. So we've been trying to get this bumping for a while. Everybody's really busy, so thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. I know it's a lot.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've wanted to do it, so I'm happy we found the time.
Thank you. Yeah. So we met in person last summer in Costa Rica. I was unfortunately not cleared from my surgery to train yet, but I paid the money, so I got to watch the whole camp. And I was very impressed with the technical level of the camp as a whole, including all of the students, anybody that was training, and of course your instruction along with Seth Smith. So we'll talk a little bit more about Hero Academy in a little bit, but I'd like to start with you. Like, where is a place in time or a place in life that you feel most at home?
I don't know. I guess the kind of throwaway answer would be like when I'm actually at home. Like I'm very much a homebody, so when I actually have time to be at home and chill and kind of like disconnect a little bit, I do feel like I can kind of find my my like Zen place. Something that I have to kind of do when I'm at the gym, which has changed over the years, but I feel like when I'm at jiu-jitsu, I have to be very on. Yeah. Which is like, I really enjoy it, like all sides of it. I've enjoyed being on as like a competitor, like I'm showing up for training and my job is to like improve and develop my skill set and get good rounds in and make sure I'm performing well and make sure I'm troubleshooting. As like an academy owner, it's a little different. You have to be on on many different levels. I have to be on in the sense that my instruction needs to be good. I need to be on in that the energy needs to be good. I need to be on in that the facility needs to be well taken care of, and if you come in as a student and things are kind of in disarray, or if my energy is off, it doesn't feel right for you. So
sure.
So that creates its own challenges. So I just feel like, as I've trained longer and as I've been on the mat more, and I've had more roles in jiu-jitsu, it's something I really, really love, but it definitely is my job,
Right,
so I think that, for so many people, jiu-jitsu is like, I see it in a really good way. It's like their hobby. It's their safe. It's like their space to socialize and see their friends and train and have this activity. But they don't have like the pressure of like, I need to get the bills paid. I need to make sure everything's cleaned. I need merchandise to be ordered. I need my curriculum to be good. I need classes covered, like whatever the case may be. So I think like at home and at peace when I'm like rolling, but that's such a small percentage of the time that I'm like actually at my gym. So I would say that when I'm actually home, able to disconnect a little bit with like a big bowl of pasta, with like my daughter and like something good on TV, I feel pretty at home.
Yeah, I like that too. And I think a lot of people's answer is that the cliche answer, like, oh, I'm most at home on the mat, right? Because you do jujitsu, that's your job and everything. But I think it's important that we do take a step back and realize that people that own gyms, black belts that own gyms, academy owners, they're people too. And expecting them to be a certain type of way, it must feel really nice to just get home and like, bleh, let it all go.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So what was life like growing up for you? Are you still living in the same area that you came from? Did you get to move around a lot as a kid?
So I grew up in New York City, and I lived there for most of my life, for probably like the first 22 years of my life. And then I had a brief stint in Hawaii where I was living out there training and teaching a little bit, which was awesome. And then after like a year in Hawaii, I came back to New York and started training at Marcelo's and was there for several years. And then I moved to Virginia like 8 or 9 years ago now. So I've gotten to mostly just bounce around living on the East Coast and a little bit of time in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And, I've gotten to travel a lot through jiu-jitsu, but those have been like kind of home bases for me.
What island were you training on?
I was on Oahu.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, Hawaii's a good training ground out there. We're always happy when like the Hawaii guys drop into the gym from the Coast Guard here and we're like, yes.
Yeah.
Good jiu-jitsu, always.
Good jiu-jitsu and like really good energy.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good people. It was like a big cultural adjustment for me, at least at first, coming from New York.
Speed.
Because it's so much slower than New York, and I feel like people kind of can slow down and enjoy the present a little bit more, which was not something that I was used to.
Yes.
And to be honest, it's still not something that I'm particularly good at, but I felt like people would slow down and just kind of appreciate what's currently happening instead of like what's next.
Yes, I also think that their culture, when you don't really have to commit to a plan, you just kind of throw an idea out, and if it works out, great. If not, cool. And you're not.
Yeah.
I think I stopped looking at the clock when I moved there. I was like, I'm done.
Oh, you live there too?
I lived on Kauai for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I loved it a lot. Slower than Oahu for sure, but it was great. It was like everything I needed at that point in time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When did you find jiu-jitsu? You said obviously pre-Hawaii.
Pre-Hawaii. I was like 17.
Okay.
So I was like, I think it's actually kind of crazy because I felt like when I started, I felt fairly young. But now people are starting at such a young age. Like if a 17-year-old comes into my gym today, I don't think of them as starting jiu-jitsu young.
Right.
But I started at 17 and it pretty quickly became a passion and something I was taking really, really seriously. And then I think by the time I was like a purple belt, around like 20 or 21, that I was starting to see maybe the pathway for it becoming a career.
What was it about that time that made you decide to go ahead and stay with it and pursue the career path?
I was at a gym where I saw a lot of my peers doing really well competitively. Okay. I was super fortunate to have like very good coaches that were, like winning major tournaments. And it had this feeling of, like, if they can do it, why can't I? You know, like we're all training the same classes. I was starting to do pretty well competitively. I believed in the team a lot. I believed in the people a lot, and I just knew that I was literally walking the same path as them, and getting good results. So I was like, yeah, if I keep doing this for a long time and don't, and just kind of stay the course, like, why shouldn't good things happen for me?
Absolutely. Did you start competing as a white belt, or did you put that on hold for a little bit?
No, I started competing as a white belt. I didn't really, when I started training, I didn't even know that jiu-jitsu tournaments were a thing. I just, I watched MMA, and that was kind of my initial exposure to jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And then the people that I was training with were competing a lot, and they were like, yeah, come try this tournament. So I did my first one really early, maybe like 3 months. And
I
remember like just having like a big adrenaline dump, like having a match where I like held somebody in a triangle for the whole time, and then they like passed my guard at the end, and it felt just so like
so
traumatic
defeating.
and like so traumatic and overwhelming. I was like, how did this white belt almost kill me?
And why are we here, right?
Yeah, why are we here? But then I tried again, like further into white belt, maybe like 8 months in, and then that one felt a lot more grounded, and I think I fought pretty well, and I enjoyed it, so I just kind of kept going.
Excellent. And then where were you at in your belt series when you decided that you were going to pursue opening your own gym?
I think I think it was always something that I thought about a lot. When I was a purple belt, I was fortunate to be running a jiu-jitsu program at this Muay Thai gym in New York called Evolution. And I had seen, I had always taught at other people's gyms.
Right.
Like I taught some at Alliance, and I taught a little bit at the gym in Hawaii. And then when I started teaching at Evolution, it was the first time that I was starting a program from scratch. So it was kind of like a cool test for me to see, like, okay, well, like there's one student on the mat. Can I grow this?
Right.
And I saw the program really take off. We had a ton of members by the time I moved, and I was like, okay, like maybe I am okay at building a program, because it's so much more than the techniques, right? It's like the community you're making, the environment you're creating, and I felt like we had something really special there. And then when I moved to this area and I started to teach at 50/50, I like same thing, like kind of I could feel the community and the atmosphere growing, and the energy was good. So it was kind of always something that I had thought about. And I think just as a black belt, I wound up pulling the trigger on actually opening my own spot.
Nice. We'll talk more about that because you've just opened a new location, or you've just relocated, right?
Yeah, just relocated.
Okay, let's get into that in a little bit. But I do have a question for you. It feels to me like you as a person, like you don't just give your time away easy, right? It feels to me like people need to, you need to see who somebody is before you let them into your space a little bit.
To be honest, I've been really bad about that.
Really?
Yeah, I've been horrible about that, in the sense that I think since I started teaching, just very, very generous with my time with everybody. And I think that if anything now, I'm starting to just guard it a little bit more.
Yes.
And it's something that I've seen it just looking at instructors, just kind of like looking at almost like OGs, just within the community, like instructors that I've had, people that I've watched, people that I've observed, just be like a little bit more reserved with their energy with people.
Yeah.
And I'm really starting to understand it more, because, when you've taught jiu-jitsu to, I don't know how many people at this point, definitely well over 1,000, it's like, I've spent so many hours with people that like don't train anymore, or like kind of fell off. And it's like, I don't know that I regret helping anybody, but I'm like, yeah, that was time that I could have spent with, a significant other, or a time I could have spent with friends, or a time I could have spent, working on myself, or hanging out with my cat or doing anything else, you know? Yeah, being at home. But it's like, yeah, I'll stay at the gym until 10 p.m. helping you and answering all your questions. And I think you like to think that somebody will do something with that. And then when they don't, I don't want to say it makes you bitter, but it's something that I'm aware of now. And I think that if anything, one of my like strengths as an instructor, like blessing and a curse maybe type thing is like, I'm trying to be more reserved with my time, but I think I'm pretty generous with it. Like it's hard for me to not help people that tell me they want help.
Yeah, I could see that. And I noticed too, I think in like the longer I do jujitsu, I see the same thing happening even with myself. And I, see it with other people too, is like people come in and they have that whole, adopt a white belt, try to help somebody, keep them in. The more you help them, the more they'll stay. And then pretty soon you haven't seen them for 6 weeks. The gi you bought them is gone. All of your time is wasted. And then it's not bitter. It's becoming more intentional.
Yeah. I don't want to say wasted. I don't want to say wasted because that. Maybe you, maybe they don't do anything with it, but it is experience you got to have. You learned how to teach somebody a little bit better. You learned how to connect with personality a little bit more. And I think that, that's something I've always tried to do as an instructor is kind of cater to the individual. I don't really think there's a one size fits all to coaching. I always noticed that just like coming up in school, there were certain teachers that I really resonated with, and there was other teachers that I didn't. And I felt like the ones that would really try to connect with me tended to be the classes that I performed in the best. Yeah. So I try my best to connect with people. And, if I put a lot of time or energy into helping a student and it doesn't work out, I'm like, okay, well, this was some experience that I got with trying to connect with this personality type. And maybe I learned things that I did well, and I'm picking up on feedback for things that maybe I didn't do as well. I can't control if somebody stays or goes, but I can try to take something away from the experiences. So there's definitely students that I've had that I'm like, yeah, I should have done things differently. And there's other students that I've had where I'm like, no, I think I played that really well and I tried my best to help and it just didn't work out for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a one size fits all. Everybody doesn't fit everybody or the circumstance in life. It may not even be you or the gym or even jujitsu.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you value most in the people that you keep close to you?
I think just, like a common interest in like a general goal. That could be like working hard. That could be being happy. That could be, pursuing something. I just think I tend to thrive the most against people that are like high performers and like very motivated. Yeah. I feel a little like, I don't know. One of my students actually told me that what I'm feeling is anxiety, but I feel like kind of anxious if I'm like settled, like I always feel like I need to do a thing, or like work towards something. So I think that when I'm surrounded with people that, like are similarly motivated, like they're trying to get something done, they're trying to accomplish something, they're kind of on their grind with something like a focus, it tends to like be like an infectious energy for me. So I think that's something that I look for. And then I think that just also as I've grown, just community and people that, just kind of, I feel like I can be myself around. Yeah, that's key. Being yourself, I think, is everything. I guess working too, you have to, as you said, be on so much that getting the opportunity to just not have to worry about what anybody thinks must be really. Yeah, I think like something with jiu-jitsu is I recognize that I'm providing a service for people and that they are coming to me because they want to learn this thing, right? So that doesn't always mean that I'm just being Adam. I'm being Adam, the jiu-jitsu instructor or coach or business owner or whatever. So I think when I like pull jiu-jitsu out and I'm like, okay, like who can I just like really be myself around? I'm like, yeah, those are probably like my people, Yeah, the core group. Yeah, like I told you I was like at a bachelor party with my friends that I grew up with, and we've known each other since we were 10, and I haven't gotten to see them in so long, just because the gym, life stuff, baby, and it's like it was just so refreshing to be with all of them again, because it's like a big group of friends that I could tell we're just like, we can all really be ourselves around each other.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah, it
Really
was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Was it the whole weekend or just?
Yeah, it was like Thursday to Sunday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but it was great. Like, it's just so many like core memories. You know, I met these guys when I was 10, so it's like it's like I just have countless memories with each of them, and it's cool knowing. I guess I have a support system and a friend group that has been with me, you know, way before jiu-jitsu, and I'm sure that they'll be with me after my body kind of fails on me.
Yeah, yeah. That's super rad. I want to talk a little bit about your current competition season. You had a recent you competed recently. Did well.
Yeah.
How did that go? Want to tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So, I felt like that was just like a kind of first foot back into competing. I was out for over 2 years just within.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Like I had a baby, and then I had like a pretty serious knee surgery, and then I had kind of like some life stuff coming up that I had to manage, and opening the new gym. So it was just so many things that I felt like were really serious life events that I had to really direct my focus on. And I think maybe, I don't know, a bit of a strength, but also I could see being a weakness as like competitor Adam, is that when I compete, I really give everything to the event, whether it's, it could be a local tournament down the street, or it could be, the world's. I'm going to really give everything. And that means that so many other parts of my life have to be put on hold. And especially now that, I have so many moving parts, it was just not really like, I had to focus on my knee. I had to focus on my child. I had to focus on relationship stuff and my business and these things that were, I think, more important to me than competing.
Right.
Not just more important, but I knew that I couldn't put them on the back burner for competing.
Sure.
So honestly, I think that during that whole kind of 2-year stretch, I thought about competing a lot. And one of the big takeaways that I had was how fortunate I have been to be a version of Adam competitively that was just so locked in on that goal, because I see how many things I have to adjust to be that person now.
Yeah.
And something that I tried to remember as I kind of approached this tournament was, the fact that I get to really dedicate myself to a goal or to an event. The fact that I got through the training camp uninjured, the fact that I got to show up on that day is like a huge blessing. So if I make it there healthy and ready to go, and I got to put in the work that I want, I just kind of promised myself to really just go, just let it rip as hard as you can and as much as you can, and don't hold back, because I think in the past with events, I might have been nervous or seen an opponent and been timid, or whatever the case may be. Sure. Seen an opportunity and been like just overthinking it too much, instead of being like, dude, you get to be there. Like, you're healthy. Like, you get to be on the mat. You don't have to manage all these other things. Just go. And I don't know, I feel like going through those experiences made that easier. And I was kind of it was an interesting roller coaster of emotions leading up to the event. But then once I was finally there and warming up, I was refreshing at how at home and comfortable I felt, and almost like getting to flip a switch and just be back in that headspace of I'm here to win.
Yes. And how did it go? Did you won?
Yeah, I won.
Yes,
I won.
yes.
I won. Which I was happy about. I think that I'm kind of I think I've always been very almost like like I want to perform really well. So I was happy that I fought well. But I also realistically knew that the quality of opponents that I was going against wasn't like super top tier. I mean, they were tough. They were tough guys, but like I came back and did the master division. I hadn't competed in 2 years. I wanted to make it as controlled as I could. Sure. I didn't want to stack too many things against me. But I think that, for me, since I've competed at a really high level in the past, I think that I get the most almost like pride and feeling of accomplishment from fighting well against the top guys.
Yeah.
So there was like a sense of I guess like accomplishment, not even from winning the event or fighting well, but for just like putting myself back in the fire and seeing how I felt in the fire.
Sure.
But I think that it's like there is more of a like an itch to scratch with just the level of opposition being really, really high.
What is your future plans for 2026 season? Are you going to continue to fight in the Masters division? Are you going to push for the adults? What are you thinking?
I think like I wanna just try and compete regularly without some sort of life event coming up. Like now, I have a daughter and I'm kind of like every other weekend with her. So I like the idea that I'm just going to compete on the weekends that I don't have her, because it just feels like a really good usage of time. Sometimes I'll just sit around and be like, I need to do something and I don't know what to do.
Right.
So I think just like competing is a good outlet for me. So I think like for me, I hope that I can just compete somewhat regularly, hopefully get good results, and more than the results, hopefully just fight well and stay healthy. And I'd probably just start at master because I think the master division is super challenging right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really good guys, and it's a lot of the guys from my generation, which is really exciting to me. It's the people that I came up competing against as the lower belts, and there's a lot of history there. There's people that I want to fight again. I'm sure there's plenty of people that want to fight me. But I also would like the chance and the opportunities to compete against like the current generation and the current top guys, just because I know that I'm kind of like at the tail end of like my athletic prime. Like I'm 35 now. I can tell that my body is like not like I just have more wear and tear. So I'm like, if I'm gonna challenge myself against the best guys, like it's got to happen now. I don't want to wait until I'm 40.
Right. I like that outlook. I think you're smart. I'm 49, and I will tell you that when you get to 45, everything changes.
I've been looking at I have a lot of students that are very serious about jiu-jitsu that are in their 40s.
Yeah.
And I just, when I watch these 45-year-old guys train, I mean, PJ, I don't think you know Rory, but like, PJ trains almost every day, and
he's crazy.
Yeah, but like he is crazy. But I'm very like inspired by that. I know that they work full-time jobs and they're still coming in and training every day and lifting, and I'm just like, man,
and the weekends.
I'm just like, I hope that my body can hold up and I can still train so regularly, like well into my 40s and 50s.
Yeah. I think you're on the right path. I think you'll be just fine. So
I hope so.
Yeah, knock on wood, right? Just don't jinx it. So you just dropped a new instructional.
A little bit ago. But yeah, I did one with jiu-jitsu. It's probably like close to a year ago now. But one thing that I am doing is I started like an online training platform for my academy, and that's been pretty fun. Where right now, like we have like a course, or we have a second course going up right now, but I've been doing a lot of like video breakdowns of my students, which I think has been really fun. Just them having almost like a narrated, copy of a round with like someone that they're training with, where we can really break down the things that they're doing well, the things that they're not doing well, the mistakes in real time. So it makes me feel like I can give them something actionable to work on that they can like refer back to, because sometimes like your instructor gives you something during class and you're sweaty and you're tired and you're trying to like drink a Gatorade and they're telling you how you should have passed the guard differently, and you're like, bro, I can't hear you right now. But when you can kind of look back when you're at home or you have some time and you're just like watching it on your phone, you're like, oh, okay, I see what they meant here. So I think it's giving us like a good catalog of things to work on.
I think it's fantastic. You had posted a portion of a video on your story, and I noticed that it was such fine detail of where the foot should be, when the foot needs to move, what needs to happen. Learning from you, of course, is fantastic anyway, but it was refreshing because it was a different kind of learning for me, right?
Yeah. I try to, I think, like bring a little bit of a different lens to how people can learn jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
I mean, I think I've been fortunate to learn from some really interesting people, and it's definitely changed the way that I think absorb jiu-jitsu and absorb information. And I don't really think that there's any right way. I just think that honestly, I think that people need to figure out how they learn and what's useful for them.
Yeah.
And if a way that I'm learning is helpful for others, then of course I want to share it.
Amazing. And you said that you're working on that for your gym.
Yeah. So if you want to check it out, it's just skool.com/Black Cat Jiu Jitsu. And right now it's just like a few courses going up. Like we have a passing single leg X course. We have a little like a body lock course going up.
Oh, sweet.
And right now just like a lot of video breakdown, which I'm actually really enjoying.
Back to Hero Academy. You guys are scheduled again this summer. Is this correct?
We are. End of June.
End of June. What are the dates?
This time?
We're trying. I'm going to Japan at the end of May for my son's birthday.
Cool.
So yeah, it's just going to be how much money's left after that. We've never been, so
I've always wanted to go to Japan. That's going to be such a cool trip.
Yeah, we're gonna try to train. Everybody says to go to the MNRA school, and that's the easiest one for a tourist to go to.
You know what I want to do in Japan? This is like my Japan daydream. I want to go, and whether I go, I'd like to think I go with friends.
Yes.
But I want to creep out at some point by myself and not tell anybody. And I want to go to one of those ramen places and just sit in silence and have someone hand me a bowl of ramen like underneath the little screen.
Yes.
And I want nobody to talk to me, and I want to just like compartmentalize and eat this ramen in Japan.
Okay, Jesse listens to all of my podcast episodes, and this is going to be, he'll be like, yes, that's my dream. Nobody talks to me. So leave me alone.
Yeah. It's like my Friday routine is I go to this like ramen place after open mat, and I just like go by myself and eat ramen and try to just disconnect a little bit. So, I like you if I invite you to ramen with me on a Friday night.
Amazing. Do you have the same kind of ramen each time, or do you pick a different?
No, I'm pretty much a creature of habit. I don't really deviate very much.
Same kind. What's your go-to ramen bowl?
I get like a spicy chicken ramen. And yeah, it's good. I'm not like a huge pork guy.
Yeah.
So I get this like spicy chicken ramen with like the egg and some different accoutrements.
Okay, that sounds good. Sometimes it's too meaty for me, and I don't like the taste of plain chicken. So
yeah,
I'm gonna get some spicy chicken.
That's funny. I actually sub the chicken. I sub the chicken for this like ground chicken that is a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't like a very meaty soup. Like I just got pho, and I made it like a vegetable pho with chicken broth. I'm kind of like, it's already so heavy. I don't need it to be overdone.
I'd rather just eat the jalapenos and drink the broth with the. I mean, I love it all, but.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I could talk about food all day. Okay, back to Hero Camp. Yes.
Right.
Speaking of food, a great place to eat is down in Tamarindo.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was so fun. There's so many spots just like at your fingertips, really.
For sure.
I really had a lot of fun the first trip. So I'm looking forward to going back, and also going back and having like more of a lay of the land of that area of Costa Rica, and just being like, oh, let's go to this place, let's go to that place. Like,
yes.
Not having decision fatigue at all.
That's the worst part too, is when everybody wants to go somewhere together and they're like, should we do this? Should we do that? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to fucking drive away right now.
Yeah.
Just go to wherever.
Yeah.
So you guys did, was it 3 days, 4 days?
I think it was 4 days last time.
4 days camp. Is it going to be 4 days again this year, do you think?
I believe it is. It might be a little bit shorter. I think it is 4 days, but yeah, it's just kind of, it's worked around my schedule at the gym. It's kind of hard for me to go because I teach the majority of the classes. But we're gonna make it work.
Yes, I know it's got to be hard too, as like the head instructor owner, to just hop off and go train. But I think it brings a different aspect to jiu-jitsu, just going down there and having such a laid back, free, not a lot of rules.
Yeah. I think the whole thing is great. Like in many levels. Like I really enjoyed Costa Rica. I liked meeting a lot of the locals there too. And if I can, share some jujitsu and help out Hero Academy, I definitely want to be able to do that. And I think that also it's just good for me to learn how to delegate more. That's
yeah.
like a hard thing for me, or has been historically a hard thing for me within like business or even life. It's just like relinquishing some level of control. If anything, I think that's been one of the appealing things about competing. It's like, although I can't control the outcome of an event, I've always felt like I could really control my preparation.
Yeah.
And there's some like comfort in that of like knowing, okay, I controlled every variable and I did as much as I could, and now the chips are going to fall where they fall. So it's been hard for me within the business of being like, okay, I'm going to give up some level of control of my classes or control of the emails or control of whatever, because it's like, I feel like if something goes wrong, I just put the blame on myself. And I feel like it's scary to almost like relinquish that responsibility. But
Yeah.
I really do see the benefits now. Like even like going to this bachelor party, and really like I really trust my team now, and going and getting to like unwind and like come back. Like I know I'm going to come back now to like being a better instructor and more balanced. So I think it's good to continue to learn how to delegate, give my staff a chance to kind of like run with the reins a little bit, and then train out there. So it's a win-win, I think.
Excellent. What can people expect from training out in Tamarindo?
I think it's the cool thing is I think it's kind of like a go with the flow, like you could have a hard training session, you could have a chill training session. But I think that you can expect to have a lot of fun, learn some good jiu-jitsu, train a lot of rounds, go to the beach, eat some good food, like it's pretty, it's a really nice mix of, I think, like a vacation while also having like focused training. Because I've definitely been on these training trips where it feels like my job is to just solely train.
Oh, yeah.
But like if I go to like in the past, if I've gone to like California to do a camp to get ready for an event, it's like my job is to be as locked in during every training session as I can.
Yeah.
And if you're doing multiple sessions a day, it's like you have to be really focused. You have to recover well. You have to eat really well. Versus like, yeah, we're gonna get like a really good training session in the morning and then hang out for a little, get some good food, go to the beach, and then just kind of play it by ear. Do we want to go back and train? Do we want to, do we want to go get dinner? Do we want to take a nap? So I think it's a really nice, fun balance.
Yeah, I think that the first question I always get about the camp is just what you touched on, like, oh, is it all day training? Is it jujitsu all day? And I always tell people it's a great trip to bring like even a partner that doesn't train at all, because it's just a couple hours out of the day, and then the rest of your time is a complete free vacation for you. So
Yeah.
I think it's good. What is something that you get out of teaching in that environment as opposed to your regular, more strict, more, I guess not strict, but more structured? How about that?
Yeah, I think, I think the biggest thing is, because I really do want to help everybody.
Yeah.
It's like let's say you, for example, like if I know that I have 4 days to help you with jujitsu, like when you were at the camp last time, I'm going to treat those 4 days very differently than if I knew that you were just like an indefinite student and I might have 4 years with you. Or I might have 10 years with you, or I might have, so it gives me, I think it helps me shift what to focus on. And I think it's like if I could give you one thing that you wind up taking and putting into your game, then I really did my job. While with my students at the gym, I really, when I look at all of them, I'm like, what do I need to give you right now that takes you closer to like the black belt version of yourself?
Right. I like that. That is a big shift on things. Let's talk a little bit about Black Cat Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
So
sure.
you have just relocated, complete remodel, which is beautiful, by the way. I think it's stunning. I was watching all your updates on the construction and your tile, and it was just great. So very
Thank you so
impressed with
much.
me. Yeah, I know you put everything into that. What
I
is the vision for Black Cat Jiu Jitsu moving forward?
did. Man, I think the cool thing about the current space is it was designed to kind of be like a forever home for me. You know, like
Yeah.
you don't get too many opportunities to build your dream gym out. So I was super fortunate that we got a great landlord that believed in the vision and was like very open to making changes in the space. But I think that now the vision for me is just to really use this as a vessel to help as many people as I can and hopefully give myself some financial security for the future and hopefully be able to continue to enjoy jujitsu and like a really like nice, comfortable facility with good instruction. Because I've basically built like my jujitsu dream gym, playground, however you want to look at it. That like Black Hat is like my like if I could like control a video game and make my dream gym, I pretty much got to do it. So I'm just super fortunate that I had that opportunity, and now I just want to kind of enjoy it and hopefully make some money and help a lot of people and just keep that going.
Excellent. What kind of culture are you trying to create in there?
I think just like I want everyone to feel really relaxed. I want everybody to feel like excited to be there. I want them to feel like they can be around their friends and still train at a really like high and competitive level.
Yeah.
Like they're absorbing really good information. There's like a push for improvement. Like I think that the standard is really high, which is an interesting thing that I've just noticed having a gym for a long time now, or not a long time, but working at gyms for a long time, is that it seems like to me the competitive level is higher than ever. Like there's some really outstanding grapplers.
Yes.
But the hobbyist level, in my opinion, is quite low. And I think that the belts have in some ways gotten really watered down.
Yeah.
So I think that I still try to maintain a super high standard. So I can sometimes see people come in and be like, whoa, like this is not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And then I think that other people that are used to training at like a gym with like a good level are just kind of like oftentimes just jump in like a duck to water.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the first thing you want somebody to feel, a new student to feel when they walk in the door?
Welcomed. I don't want them. Yeah, I just want them to feel welcomed. I don't want them to feel scared. Like when I've had students tell me that, man, Adam, I came and sat in the parking lot for 3 times before I actually worked up the courage to come in. And I'm like, man, it's like, yeah, but coming in and trying a class can be like really challenging for some people.
Yes.
So for me, I remember trying or thinking about trying jujitsu for a long time before I actually did a class. Mm-hmm. So I want people to feel welcomed. I want them to feel comfortable. I never want people to have a bad experience at my gym. Of course, like we're not perfect. Like people have had good days and bad days at Black Hat, but whenever someone has a bad day, I'm like, okay, well, like what can I do better in the future? How can I make sure that we take care of like the next client in a way that that's like more sustainable moving forward, not just for them but for us too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that I'm taking the kind of like Americanized approach to Jiu-Jitsu Academy ownership in that I recognize I'm offering you a service. I'm not particularly cheap. I feel like the facility is really nice and the effort that you're going to get is really high.
Yeah.
So I want you to feel like you're getting a really, really good service. And I think that as we start to move closer to that and away from the more, I would just say like old school Jiu-Jitsu mentality, I think it just like pushes the sport forward.
I love it. I've noticed a huge shift in probably the past year at competition, just watching over even just, I've only been doing this for 8 years, but just the difference. And I'm curious to know too, if you notice the same thing, but the difference in younger people's ability at the competitive level from just a year or two ago till now is unreal. I mean, we're seeing Jocelyn Molina, she's 14, winning everything at ADCC, all of the ADCCs. She's just out there. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, she's incredible. I definitely see that the level of like young athletes is very, very high now.
Yes.
Like I think having, for example, a student that's like a blue belt juvenile student is a much bigger competitive responsibility than like a brown belt in the master division.
Absolutely.
You know, because the level is so high and it's so competitive, and you have all of these people that are basically kids that are training full time, and I just feel a big responsibility to guide people the right way.
Yes.
And I think that you need to really take like close consideration with the younger grapplers.
Yeah, I see that. I'm watching coaches dial in more. I'm watching people. There's just such a big divide now between a hobbyist and a professional. Whereas just a few years ago, it was like, okay, the hobbyists, these guys can keep up. But the more people that do jiu-jitsu, the bigger difference you're going to see in the really good guys and then the guys that are just doing it for fun.
Yeah, and also the bigger pool of good athletes and capable learners you get. I mean, if you look at the amount of people that do jiu-jitsu compared to soccer or football or baseball, it's still so small.
Oh yeah.
So when you have that many more people doing an activity, the cream that rises to the top are just typically just like almost like a different animal.
Yes.
I mean, I remember it was somewhat recent, but I was watching a football player's like contract that went through for like, you know, like several years and like $100 million or whatever insane number. And I was like, yeah, this guy would kill it if he like entered the blue belt division with like almost no training.
Just a blast double.
Yeah, but it's just the reality is he's such a different caliber of athlete that it almost doesn't make sense for him to go in, or it doesn't make sense for him to go into an activity like jiu-jitsu if he could get paid hundreds of millions of dollars elsewhere.
Of course. Yeah, and you're right. And I'm seeing wrestling grow, specifically women's wrestling. I'm seeing judo growing. I'm seeing the awareness from young people wanting to do more grappling sports. And I would argue that it's the rise of the MMA and more opportunities to do that. But I also think it's cool as hell to see everybody just being like, yes, let's try jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's awesome. I mean, I'm just all for jiu-jitsu growing and the sport getting bigger and better. I really hope that the generations that are coming up now have like the best opportunities that we can get them in the future. It's been super hard making like a comfortable living in jiu-jitsu, and it's taken me, I mean, almost 20 years now to get to the point where I feel like I can like kind of live comfortably with this activity.
Yeah.
But you know, it'd just be so amazing for the competitors of today to be able to live comfortably and put some money away and be able to compete and eat well and focus on their careers instead of having to have like a second or third job to kind of supplement their jiu-jitsu training. And I think you're seeing it happen. I mean, you're seeing like the UFC BJJ giving people like contracts. You're seeing CJI with these huge purses. You're seeing just more professionalism in the sport throughout. So it's great.
Did you see that Playboy just interviewed Craig Jones?
I actually did see that. That's huge too. I mean,
I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Like, it's just any sort of like mainstream, I think, publicity that jiu-jitsu gets, or positive publicity that jiu-jitsu gets, just helps the sport grow and helps push it forward.
We're going to shift into raising a daughter. And I'm curious to what it feels like. I have a daughter too, and she's 20.
Sorry, you broke up for a sec.
Oh, I'm back.
Could you repeat what you asked?
Yes. I want to talk about raising your daughter.
Yeah.
Does it feel, because obviously you were a black belt before you were a dad, does it feel heavier or like more responsibility when you're the black belt and the dad, and you're the one who's supposed to protect her at all costs?
I think that that's just like a human innate thing, you know, like when you were a white belt, you still had kids, right?
Yeah. They were adults though.
Okay. Well, let's take when they were children, and they were and you were, you know, however many years before you embarked on your jiu-jitsu journey, you would still feel this innate thing to protect them at all costs, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, so I think that that is in me. But if anything, I've like considered other perspectives of like is my house secured well?
Yeah.
What would I do? What would I do if someone came in with a gun? Like, what would my plan be if it were a situation that I couldn't control within jiu-jitsu? Like what's going on when she's with her mom? Is her mom safe? Is her mom taken care of? You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
I just think that there's more that I'm considering, I like the idea that if I were with my daughter and I needed to like fucking, I don't know, judo throw somebody to the ground. I mean, I guess in my case, pull delahiva, like I would be like prepared. I would be like prepared to defend my kid. But I think that that's all parents,
Yes.
You're not going to just, like, that's just like very, I think that's like almost like within you. If anything, I think it's opening my eyes to would I be prepared if something worse happened, and if not, what am I going to do to prepare myself?
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, I did not look at life that way until I started jiu-jitsu because I was blissfully unaware of like actual self-defense training. I just had to scrap when I needed to. So I was like, I can handle anything. And now the more I know, I'm like, oh my God, what's my backup plan? A, B, C, D. Like, where do I go if this doesn't work?
Right.
So what do you hope that your daughter takes from watching jiu-jitsu and being on the mats and growing up in this environment, whether she trains or not?
I mean, the biggest thing for me right now is I just want her to have so much fun when she's at the gym.
Yeah.
Because I think that at the end of the day, people tend to stick around in jiu-jitsu and get really good over time because they're enjoying it and because they're having fun. And I would much rather have a student that enjoys jiu-jitsu, like truly enjoys it, than maybe someone that's not having the best time but is working very hard. Because I think on a long timeline, the person that's enjoying the activity is probably going to outpace the one that is just grinding really hard but not really loving it.
Yeah.
So, whether my daughter like loves jiu-jitsu and wants to train every day or she's not into it, I hope that when she's at the gym, she has fun there and she feels like she can, it's already so cute. Like she's socializing with all the kids in the kids' classes, and she'll sit there and watch class even though she's only 2.
Yeah.
We'll be in the car and she'll like ask me to go to Black Cat. So that's all great, and I just, I hope that she sees that, I'm a hard worker and I try to treat people well. And, and I'd like to, just like share my experience with her however I can, whether that's jujitsu or life. I just want to do my best to guide her, really.
Yeah. We all know that when they become teenagers, they don't listen or hear. If there was something that you could speak to your daughter at 16 years old, what would you tell your 16-year-old daughter that you would make sure that she carries from now to the rest of her life?
God, it's so hard because she's changing so much every day. So I don't know the person that she's going to be at 16 yet. I mean, I can't wait to meet that person, but I don't know what she's going to need to hear at 16. What she needs to hear at 16 can be so different than what she needs to hear at 14 or 25 or 7, so I would be curious to meet the 16-year-old version of my daughter, and hopefully me and her mom do a great job. And she's, I mean, if she's anything like, she's gonna be a little fiery in some ways, and she's, hopefully I could give her good guidance. But I would really need to meet her and see what I could, see the person I was talking to.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Ladies, how would you like to spend the weekend with 250 other female grapplers? Well, guess what? You can do just that. Check out rollmodelswanted.com. That's ROLL modelswanted.com and use code CHOKE50 for $50 off your 2026 Role Model Women's Only Grappling Camp in Indianapolis, Indiana, running July 10th through 12th, 2026, put on by our friend AJ Klingerman and the crew over there.
All right, we just have a few more minutes left. Are you down for some rapid fire questions?
Oh, yes, that sounds fun.
Sweet. Okay, gi or no gi?
Oh, God. I'll say no gi. I'll say no gi right now.
Favorite submission right now?
Head and arm choke.
Hardest training room you've been in?
Can I give I want to give 3. I mean, I want to give 3. So my feeling, or like my observation, is that gyms that I've been at have all been awesome, but there was like Goldilocks periods at each gym where it was like almost like unsustainably amazing, where it was like there was so many good people on the mat. But I would say Fabio Clemente's gym, like 2010 to 11 era, was amazing. And I would say Marcelo's from like 2014 to 2016, 17. Like those were the years that I was there mostly, maybe a little before and a tiny bit after. But that was like some of the hardest training that I ever endured. And then, you know, some of the years that I was at 50 was just like through the roof, amazing training. Just so many talented people on the mat, from, you know, Ryan to Frank to the Terrell brothers to visitors coming in left and right. It was just such a stacked room. So those 3 kind of stand out, these little periods in time at each of these gyms where things were just like unsustainably amazing, I think, for probably everyone's body.
For everyone's body. I'm like, it sounds like a dream. One thing that you're working on currently?
The Woj lock.
A what?
The Woj lock.
This is new for me.
Really? Okay, you should look this guy up. His name is Chris Wojcik. He's like incredible grappler, like really big fan of his. And he did a seminar at 50 somewhat recently, and I unfortunately was sick or injured. I wasn't able to make it, but some of the guys were showing me the submission, and it's a really cool one. It's like kind of like a modified, almost like Estima lock type submission that you'll hit from like 50-50, and with an ankle lock rip. And it's really cool. It's really creative. And one of my students, Kyle, is really good at it. So I've been watching him kill everybody in the room with it, and I've been trying to do it. And yeah, it's a really cool move. I've been working on it a lot.
That's awesome. I am very excited. I'm always ready for something new. Let's see. One word to describe your jiu-jitsu.
Cat-like.
2 more questions for you, and I'll let you go about your day. If you had a super fight tomorrow, what would your walkout song be?
Oh, God. I don't know. I can't give you a rapid fire on that. I feel like the walkout song. I would need to think about. Yeah, I need to think about it.
And the last question, if your best friend had to describe you in 3 words, what would those words be?
I would say probably hardworking. I would probably say like insufferable at points. It seems like all of my closest friends I annoy one way or another at points, but I like to think that the good outweighs the bad most of the time.
There you go.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know about the last one. I would just say like I don't know, hardworking, insufferable, maybe funny, entertaining, some Larry David-esque qualities that they're subjected to on a day-to-day.
There you go.
Yeah. I think probably some good and some bad with me, but I do my best to hopefully have the good outweigh the bad.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, I would agree with that. Good outweighs the bad for sure. All righty. Is there anything else you want to cover? You want to let us know where we can find your instructionals, your gym, any social media you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find me, I'm just Adam Benayoun on social media, just my first and last name. My gym is Black Cat Jiu Jitsu. I want to thank you for having me on. It was great to talk to you and great to catch up. I know that, it took us a little bit, but I'm happy we finally got to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I hope we get to train again soon.
I hope so too. I'm really going to try to get out there again. If not, I'm just going to have to come to the East Coast. There's like 20 gyms I'm supposed to visit, so I need a big trip. So.
Yeah, the East Coast Jiu-Jitsu scene has come up so much. Like, you'll definitely love it.
It's going wild. All right, Adam, I appreciate your time. Thank you again for chatting with me. And I think that you're building something really meaningful out there with yourself, your students, and your family. And I'm excited to see what this next year of competition looks like. And I hope to see you this summer.
All right. Thank you so much. All right,
thanks, Adam. Take care.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check us out on Instagram at Chokeholds and Chill Pod, or shoot us a message at chokeholdsandchillpod@gmail.com.